Live any minute. I think we are live. Hi everyone. Welcome to Collaborate to Elaborate show. Uh, we have two guests for this morning. We have Mr. Rakesh Jha. Hi Rakesh.
Hello, hi everyone. Thanks, Ankur, for having me on the talk show.
Most welcome. Hi Somya.
Hello.
Hi. So Somya, we have done a talk show with her before Rakesh ji, and that's the reason she did it on Eco Talks, right? And because this was related to sustainability, I thought it will be good to invite her as well, so that she can ask maybe some relevant question and related to sustainability that you would probably showcase. And just to give a quick introduction about myself, Rakesh ji, because I think we are speaking for the first time. I know Somya, we spoke before. I've been in this industry for almost 25 years. I have worked on different fields in technology, process, automation, customer interaction mainly, and driving towards customer success, business process automations, and hybrid cloud. So that's pretty much my gist of 2.5 decades of work experience. So I know, so Soma, you introduced yourself in the previous talk show. Would you like to give a quick intro about yourself, and then we can move to Rakesh?
Yeah, so I'm also from the IT background, currently working as a support specialist and have around 18 years of experience based out of Pune and really passionate about sustainability because I think that is how things will move forward and our earth, Mother Earth survive. We have to understand and make a bigger impact. In fact, I think that should be the highest priority, I think, in across globe. So that is what I think and how I am interested always in sustainability, and we together actually make certain do certain activities to make sure that we do certain impact
Yeah,
to the environment. So
that makes
great to
sense.
have you, Rakesh ji, so that we can get more insights and other aspects covered.
Yes, absolutely. So hi Rakesh ji. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience of Collaborate to Elaborate?
Sure, Ankur. Good morning, everyone. This is a nice Sunday morning, and
Yeah.
then this is a very nice way to connect as well, I would say. Um, uh, to begin with, I am basically a technology and engineering guy, also related to IT background, as Soumya just mentioned.
Oh, great.
But I am very happy that I am younger in the lot of this panel because I have only 12 plus years of experience, all in engineering and technology. But my domain is very exciting, which is sustainability, ESG reporting. I
Wow.
work in corporate reporting domain, and then build tools to power that domain, right? So that's pretty much for the work. And beyond the work, I am also into writing and connecting with folks related to different activities. My hobbies are very different. I'm also into spiritual and cultural activities as well. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow.
kind of pretty blend me up.
Yeah, I mean that's a very nice combination you have, and many
Yeah.
people they work on sustainability and reporting as a consumer. But I thought, I mean, I heard you saying you are building tools to do that reporting. So it will be very exciting for me, and I'm sure Somya will all enjoy what you have got to explain about sustainability and ESG reporting, right? So why don't I give the stage to you, Rakesh ji? Let's talk about our first topic, sustainability, and what all you can add to that topic. And I think we'll chip in as per our knowledge and experience. Probably Somya more than me, but why don't I give the stage to you, Rakesh ji?
Yeah, sure. So on the sustainability, if we want to understand the term itself, right? It's it's meant that by sustainability we want to make the life of the people in this world more sustainable and longer, and the resources in this world should sustain for a longer period of time. That's the sustainability meaning. That means that we want to enhance and prolong the living standards of the mankind here in this planet, and the ways to do that. So that kind of pretty much sums up sustainability as a word.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I do as an individual, and talking about my contribution, is related to my organization, which works on building tools for the investment sector worldwide, or the folks who are related to investment fraternity, right?
Okay.
So we build tools to power them up, to enable them to take investment decisions, which is informed investment decisions. So let's say, for
Oh,
example, we want to invest 10 rupees or 100 rupees. And basically, where do we invest? We invest in market, right? Or we invest in some shares or whatever it is, ETFs and blah,
yeah.
blah, blah.
Whatever we hear and seek guidance from. So yeah.
Right. And by we, I am not very much interested to point out an individual, but basically our clients are hedge funds or bigger mutual fund, investment banks, blah, blah. So let's say, for example, for us as a Indian people, maybe we can understand a very generic example of that is LIC. We all of us know, right? Life Insurance Corporation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what LIC does is it sells us premium policies, right? And then collects premiums with different people. Now, why I took an example of LIC is because it is very domestic word, prevalent with all the Indian people. Now, using the medium of policies, LIC collects lot of funds or money,
Mm-hmm.
and then it also claims that by after a certain period, when your policy matures, it will give you certain amount, right? Usually, which is higher than the amount that you give to LIC as a premium, right?
Right.
So now, where do LIC get that higher money? So you are investing 50 rupees, but LIC will give you, let's say, 80 rupees after a certain period. How
Yeah.
it will generate that 30 rupees extra, right? So what LIC does is LIC also invests in market, and then
Okay.
whatever profit it gets, it then distributes among its policy holders, right? So now what happens is, if LIC will invest in the market, it will not invest 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees. It will be in the magnitude of crores. Now, then when the money or the amount is involved of that magnitude, you want to be absolutely sure that whatever investment you are making is right and will make you profit and not loss, right? Because
Okay.
then if you make loss, your business will at stake, and thousand of people will knock at your door that give my money, right? So
Yeah.
that's the whole commercial part of it.
Correct.
And now, if you want to be absolutely sure of that kind of investment, you would need tools which will make you aware that the money you are investing in on a bucket or on a domain or on a industry is very much sustainable and will not make you a loss, right? So that's how these tools come up with. That's the whole concept. And then there are a lot of subscribers to these tools. A lot of people are very aware, especially these hedge fund managers and fund managers who looks after our money. And these days it's not just LIC. There are a lot of angel investors and investment banks and fund managers which we subscribe to. There are mutual funds, there are SIPs, blah blah. So we put our money onto a lot of stakeholder platforms, and then they take investment decisions on our behalf, because most of us are not very much aware of how market works on day-to-day basis, or even if we are aware of, we don't have time to follow up on those trending topics or news that creates those market conditions to change, right? So it's I mean, I would say around 70 or 80% of us as a Indian people, we rely on those fund managers to take investment decisions on our behalf. We just park our sum with them, and then
Yeah,
they take.
they're,
Yeah,
yeah, they are more knowledgeable, right? They
they are
have more,
professionals, right?
like they are professionals, they understand, and people like you are supporting them. I think that's a very excellent combination, right? So I'm sure I would, if I have any guidance to seek, I'll reach out to you. That's really nice for you to know that. So sustainability, you're saying, plays a role in that area as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the whole reason all these commercial aspects are in the picture is because of sustainability, because
Right.
you want to be sure that after 20 years my money is making profit and not making me loss. So if I want to invest 100 rupees, after 20 years I will make sure that at least I'm getting 100 rupees or more than that, not less than that, right?
Correct.
Because you will put your life's savings and earnings into that, and then plan your retirements and blah blah things, plan your life sort of milestones based on
Correct.
that corpus. So you want to be very sure.
Yeah, and it's hard-earned money,
So
right? So
I have a
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so yeah, the great work that was. So it's good to know the details that you have provided. I have a question regarding this. So because is sustainability report, ESG report, that is what is being used by the investors through your tools. I mean, that is how it is being, or ESG and your tools are a little different. And I'm just trying to connect the dots.
No, no, it's no different. You are precisely on the point. So, what our tools do is consume those data from the filings that corporates file. So, every public company or the company who is working in the market has an obligation with the regulators that they would have to file their certain companies information annually, or there are different frequencies to that. We call those as annual filings, and there are different other reporting mediums as well. So they report their information, we consume that information, and there are methodologies and algorithms to that, which enables us to identify that this particular company. So basically we rate a company, so we give rating to a company from triple A to triple C, and that rating is now globally, my organization is globally rating companies worldwide. So then based on that rating, we also prepare indexes. So we all know Nifty 50 or S&P 500, and those things. So those indexes are based on the ratings that we provide. We also provide our indexes. So we publish indexes from our organization as well, which is quite renowned in especially in US and European market. Not very prevalent in Indian market yet, but the presence is growing. We are on the process to get licensed with SEBI regulator in India. So yeah, that's. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, understood. I mean, I'm still new, but I was just trying to clarify my understanding of how the tools and everything work in process. Because basically, what I think is, as you said, sustainability is a long run. Whether it is a business long run, or whether it's an environment extension, or social or governance, everything gets accumulated, and finally we get to a conclusion. I'm sure it's a very difficult thing to measure, all these things. Measuring itself is a serious task, but good to know. So how was your interest toward this role and this work? I mean, it's very different and emerging, correct? So I'm just curious, in fact, that how you uh, get into this domain.
Right. So I was into engineering and technology domain from the start of my career. I have been building the web portals and web platforms. Then cloud came into the picture. But then in my current organization, I was associated since 2016, wherein uh, the whole concept of its business is that only ESG reporting, right? So previously it was ESG reporting. Now ESG is just a subset, but sustainability is a bigger topic, wherein you can consider ESG as a subset of sustainability. Sustainability covers a lot of other aspects as well, not just ESG. ESG is part of it. So that's how I am introduced into this domain, and then sort of during my tenure working with my organization on the various platforms and various products that we build, I also expanded my domain knowledge, functional knowledge into this space, and then I explored a lot of things. I also connected that with the Indian ecosystem of today's time, that what India is doing in the sustainability and climate change field. And that's how my interest grew. And I'm now also into working different activities apart from just work and building tools, right? So yeah, that's
Very
pretty
nice.
much.
Very nice and very inspiring, because sometimes we have a thought, but getting into such organization where you can cultivate your interest and or develop your interest, expertise about the interest that you have, information you have, that gives an added bit advantage, and I think that was there with your organization and yourself. So yeah, please, Dr. Angur, carry on. I
Yeah,
just
no,
thought of asking the
no,
journey.
that's really helpful. Thanks, for those wonderful questions, Soumya. Because I thought, sustainability is not my forte, right? So I'll invite someone who I spoke on Eco Talks, and it was a really nice set of questions. So I had few questions, regarding ESG, right, in particular. So that framework itself, I think that's Rakesh, you were saying something that it's a bit new to our ecosystem, right? And how is the adoption that you are seeing in the Indian ecosystem, or in generic, I think environment, social governance framework, right? The penetration.
Correct. So by new, I meant ESG is commercially new to India, and ESG reporting is new to Indian industry. But if we look at Indian culture, right, we were among the first ones,
Yeah,
and all of us know that India is very old civilization, right, and our culture tradition goes long back in time.
correct.
Now, if you look at our culture and traditions, very much related to environment, specific activities. I mean, even today we worship our rivers and trees, and there are a lot of cultures which is related to environment and very much integral part of our culture and tradition, right? So
Yes,
environmental awareness is not new to Indian people, because it is kind of integral part of us, and uh, it is so embedded to our day-to-day life and tradition that at times we do not realize it. We kind of have thought that it is so normal that we don't even realize that we are so much environment friendly, right?
yeah. It's in
Now,
muscle.
how
Yeah.
it's a muscle memory, yeah, precisely. So now, talking about ESG reporting and sustainability, those things in the commercial aspect or for Indian industry, most recently, what I would like to mention is with this new government that came up in 2014, they released a framework that was related to, I would say, the recent guideline that they issued, which is called BRSR framework. It's related to business responsibility,
Okay.
sustainability related framework, wherein
Okay.
uh, so that gives you a guideline if you are an industry or a company that is working in the Indian market. It gives you a format and a template based on which you want to publish your details. So you will publish your governance details, what are the board of directors, what are the things that you do for your employees, which is human resources aspect of it, what
Mm.
you do in terms of maintaining the emissions, whether you have carbon target within your company or not, what are the things that you affect or impact in our industry. So let's say, for example, a company who is working in as oil refinery impacts that particular marine life and the sea life, blah blah, right? How you mitigate to those emissions, and how you make sure that the impact that you provide to environment is compensated somewhere else, right? So,
Mm.
and there are CSRs that you do. So every company has to mandatorily do CSRs, corporate um,
Yeah,
uh, CSR
that's
activities, right? So,
that's that's a very good
so
example you mentioned. Yeah.
yeah, so all those information you publish to those reports in a certain format and a framework that is designed by Indian government. You report to that, and these rating agencies or organizations read through those reports, and then based on those informations that you provide publicly, they would derive that okay, your company is doing such and such activities, involved in such and such industry sector, and is emitting X number of carbon emissions. Now, based on that, where do your company land up in next 5 years or 10 years, whether it's sustainable or not, how much ESG friendly your company is, blah, blah. And based on that, that rating gets generated. So that's how the whole aspect of commercial thing is working. But then BRSR framework is very new to Indian industry, and the industry is coping up to make itself more aware and knowledgeable around ESG reporting. And now, based on that latest reporting, I mean, there is a probably a forecast or a survey that by 2030 there will be a lot of jobs related to ESG and ESG reporting, because a lot of companies is now being involved and mandatorily have to report those data points or those factors to government, right? Otherwise they would lose their license or blah blah. So they have their obligations, commercial obligations, and then that would in turn drive all the whole sector, right? Right from employment to the awareness that we will bring to the general Indian.
Yeah. No, it's important, right? I mean, basically, what I'm understanding is the company needs to do more good than the damage it's trying to intentionally or unintentionally, right? Mainly unintentionally, like you mentioned about oil gas, right? So the damage is kind of less than the good it is doing. That can be to some extent fairly acceptable because environment has to sustain, right? I mean, we can't just keep consuming and damaging. I remember when I was in UK back in the early 2000, right? They had companies which were very keen on carbon footprint at that point, right?
Exactly.
And they not do a business with someone who has particular range of carbon footprint if it is not within that range, right? So, and that was a very key factor, driven by government, driven by everyone, pretty much, and like we have right now. They were very strict on that, right? It was like a non-negotiable. If you look at software vulnerability scanning, right? It's one of non-negotiable things you can't skip. So that way, I remember, it was very important back then, and I think now it's very high time. We are getting into this, as a framework. And the second point that you mentioned about CSR, I think that's absolutely critical nowadays because big organization, right? The past company I was in and the current company, the corporate social responsibility, right? Hope I'm telling the full form correctly.
Yeah.
Plays a very vital role. Making sure things. I mean, I don't know a particular example. Maybe Somya, you can add those examples. But they have very drives that they do, right, for CSR.
Yeah. Yeah, so in my previous company, I was involved in the CSR activities because I see that unless we have people involved in day-to-day activities or day-to-day operations into these corporate social responsibility things, then the bigger impact cannot be made. Most of us, most of our working professionals are in office, right? So that's a good team that will that helps to make a bigger impact. Like for me, I have been able to, or with the help of our CSR team, we were able to make some cleaning drives possible in our society, in our community, in a public space cleaning. Those things really help, and it also helps in bringing together the like-minded people. With the employees being involved, they do understand their responsibility, because ultimately we are consuming the resources. We are earning a lot. We are earning from the things that we consume from the environment, right? Then we need to give it back. So yeah, the CSR activities are definitely very useful, and that should be incorporated to bring about a bigger change. Now, coming to again, Rakesh sir, I wanted to know what are the other personal stuffs and interests also you mentioned, right? So I'm again keen to know, is it regarding related to your climate inclination or something else? Like I heard you were also into spirituality, right? So do you want to mention?
Yeah, right, right. So basically, I'm into spirituality. I do a lot of sort of. I hope you guys are aware about acharyas and the
Yeah.
person who sort of
Yes.
performs those pujas
Ritual.
and anushtans,
Yeah.
rituals, right? So that's kind of family culture that I have. That's the kind of family background that I come up with, and that's how. So when you are a elder son of a family, you have to just look at the family kind of thing, and that's how I'm introduced into that. And then so most recently, it's been a tradition since 7 8 years that I involved in lot of pujas and anushtans whenever I take vacations, especially during Navratri and Durga Puja and then Diwali. Though during those times, I take vacations from my current work and then delve into those kind of domains wherein I'll be in a different rural area or a village performing some rituals and traditions in a mandir which is surrounded by all the villagers, very different from our urban life that I um, live in Pune, city like Pune or Mumbai. So it's a very different aspect, and those 10, 15 days or 20 days that I spent there is very different from here. So it's quite refreshing. So when I come back to my urban life again, it's very different, right? So I feel very rejuvenated and refreshed.
Yeah. I think we get energy. The things that we do is something which gives energy to us for handling other stuff of life, right? So good to know, and you're connected to villages and do the traditional things. And I think that is the reason you could easily say that we are already doing many things which keeps us connected, or we have a good bond with the nature. We are already taking care in as a part of our culture, because you're aware of it and you're already doing it in your vacation time. And that's a great thing. Good to know.
Yeah. No, that's really nice. That and while you were speaking about spirituality and your time with the within the cultural side, it was very nice because I could feel the energy inside you and the passion with which you were saying. So just coming back to our previous two topics, I know we covered sustainability, we covered ESG reporting. There are various aspects of those as well, right? Like clean water, and I think there are many different categories, right? Clean energy. So could you just highlight few points that you remember from your experience about different categories of those ESG? If you can just point those out.
Right. I'll take some liberty to walk our audience through some background. So
Yeah,
um,
please.
I would say the major development that happened in this space most recently is 2012 when the conference, UN conference in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil happened,
Hmm.
wherein there is a sustainability development conference that happened, right? And that kind of triggered lot of things uh, in the countries in this world. So a lot of activities were triggered. Now, following to that, in 2015, there were two landmark things that happened. One was COP21, which most of us would know probably is related to Paris Climate Agreement, that Paris Climate Accord, basically we say. lot of countries, top countries of the world, signed that agreement, and most recently US pulled out. That was making the news, right? But then India has been an integral part of that Paris Agreement, climate agreement, and that kind of changed the whole scenario. Now, why we say that Paris Agreement COP21 in 2015 was a major landmark in this domain is because it kind of adopted some sustainability development goals, which we called SDGs. Now, such kind of goals in the world was present previously as well. We used to call those as MDGs, which is Millennium Development Goals, Millennial Development Goals. Those were prevalently related to poverty or hunger or eradication of some disease, or let's say child morbidity reduction, right? Improvement in the health of mothers. So those kind of things. We added few others as part of 2015 COP21 uh, SDGs adoption. Now, there are 17 goals for SDGs, Sustainability Development Goals. There are 17 typically goals. Now, apart from these goals, which we inherit from MDGs, there were, I think, 8 MDGs. So apart from those 8, we continued those 8, but then we added a few. So one of the prevalent addition was related to combating climate change, and then focusing more on ocean and forest conservations. So those kind of things were added prevalently. Now. And one more major thing that happened in Paris Climate Agreement was related to a consensus that all of the countries agreed, at least during that agreement sign, that all of us will make efforts to make the global temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius by the end of this century. So that's what
Prevent.
everyone has targeted. Yeah.
Okay.
So the rise in some of the parts of the world, it has already sort of rising in a rapid pace. But then the target was by the end of this century, we will make sure that the global temperature would not rise beyond 2 degrees Celsius. Even we will make effort that we'll keep this that limit below 1.5 degrees Celsius if that is possible. Now, now the whole reason of that sort of impact of that particular consensus is, as a company or as an entity, if I am involved in carbon emissions, or if my company is involved in greenhouse gases emissions, we have to be very sure that we make ourselves committed to net zero targets. So there you must have heard the news that lot of companies have net zero targets. Even the countries today have net zero carbon targets. Even India has, I think, 2060 or something, that they have confirmed that by 2060 will be net zero. So the carbon we emit will compensate with sort of different things, right? So that kind of triggered lot of other thinkings and other activities. Like now, in order to achieve those 17 SDGs, Indian government took effort and formulated their national policies, national goals as well. And then those national goals from the Niti Aayog directed all the states should have their specific development goals, sustainable development goals. So then states responded with those goals. Those goals cumulatively forms our national goals, and those national goals will help India to reach towards those 17 SDGs that were signed during those Paris Agreement. Right. That's how the hierarchy works. Now, if we sort of on the Indian scenario or Indian sector, if we sort of try to, at a high level, understand that what are our challenges. Our challenges is, first of all, energy security, as you said, water security, food security, and there are urbanization management, right? The way we are urbanizing things. So these are the four major challenges, and all of these gets impacted by the fifth challenge, which is climate change, right?
Mm.
So these are five major challenges that Indian government or Indian people as a whole needs to address in order to achieve those 17 SDGs, right? So, and there are different. So if we deep dive into these fields specifically, each of these five challenges, we'll see that there are different things that India is doing. Let's say, for example, energy security. Now, in India is now diving into renewable sources of energies, and we must have heard about Indian initiative at an international level that India has taken, which is International Solar Alliance. Lot of, I think, 30 to 40 countries have already signed up to that,
Mm.
uh, especially South Asian countries, wherein that's an Indian initiative. So Paris climate and those climate related things, those conferences are majorly driven by US, Europe, and UN
Correct.
organization. But then from India, that the Indian contribution is that Indian International Alliance, Solar Alliance, ISA, and there are other things that India is doing right in India. So um, let's say, for example, um, if we sort of look through different speeches from our transport minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari,
Mm.
we hear a lot of things about the hydrogen cars or car engines with uh, with a fuel that is developed from biodegradable wastes. So those kind of things. So if we look at energy security part of it, right? Now, how do we generate energy today? Is most part of it is through coals. We burn
Correct.
coal, generate electricity. Hydroelectricity is very less contributed to that, contributed to less part of it. A major part of it comes from the fossil fuels that we have. So we burn
Yeah.
those and we generate electricity. Now, EV totally is not a solution because the way we generate electricity itself is faulty. We are we are using the sources that will last only till next 50 years or 100 years, right? After
Mm.
that, those sources will be gone. We
Correct.
want to go towards those sources which will last longer.
Correct.
So that's a major change that we want to bring in. I think the other day I was reading a news. Toyota, which is a Japanese company, is kind of trying to build a car engine which will run using just water.
Water.
So
Yeah.
there are challenges to it, which they are doing R&D. They are partly successful. There was a sort of demo that was presented to that industry folks, but then there are a lot of other POCs that needs to happen in that space. Once that gets successful, imagine you just fill in water and you're you are ready to drive, right, your car.
Yep.
So that's how the industry is moving and trending towards. That's about energy security, but about food
Yeah.
security, we see a lot of climate change today, right? Climate sort of seasons are have already shifted. Um, in November in Pune, there was no, I mean, very less winter was felt, right? We observed this year itself.
Yeah.
Um, it was a warmest November, and even most part of December was warm than the previous years. So the climate season is already shifting, and there are less months of winter now than as compared to the months of summer. We are getting a lot of news about flash floods and drought and those kind of contrasting climatic conditions in the different parts of our country, then we hear those news 20 years before, right? So the scenario is usually already changed, have already changed, and we are already feeling that impact of effect of climate change. So it's very much sort of call to action for all of us that we strive towards it, work towards it,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that impacts our agriculture as well.
Yeah.
India being an agricultural economy, right? Food security is very much essential for us, and we need to think towards that. So there are five challenges majorly, and India is working towards those five challenges to address it. It has formulated, I think, there were 113 indicators that Niti Aayog had published last year, I guess, 2023 or 2024. And those 113 indicators are the indicators that will be looked upon in order on the various regions of India in order to address the identify that what are the challenges, region specific challenges, and then those challenges will be addressed by formulating policies and guidelines from the government. So that's how administration is working.
Yeah, and they're working very diligently, right? You can see different aspects. And companies like yours who are working on reporting it. Somebody is working on actual, implementation side of it. So it's a very good combination, I would say, and not just big organization. I think at every stage, every part of our life, even in the individual capacity, as much as we can, right? We should drive this. If I'm working on a artificial intelligence project, for example, the way I design systems should be sustainable. It should not impact the environment, right? You can see the AI farms, they take a lot of energy and the water consumption. We should make sure that the algorithms and the chips and the silicon is designed in such a way that it impacts the environment less, right? So in every aspect of life, pretty much what I'm trying to say, it's going on. And on individual capacity, I think, Somya, if you have an example to show what you are doing, in terms of, I think, biogas, would you like to show that to the audience? I think that would be a great example. Rakesh ji, if you want to see that, she has a. I think. Why don't you take the stage?
Hey, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I will share my small biogas product that I have got, and I thought it would be a good way of helping cities reduce and reuse the waste, right? Especially the wet waste, because we think that the biogas or the gobar gas plants are only for villages, right? No, I think we are creating urbanization has caused a lot of destruction already. So why not give back by making small, contributions?
I think maybe she's having an internet issue. The the plant may be outside the internet range, right? So we're not
Yeah.
hearing you, Somya. But while she's coming back, basically there is a biogas digester, and that has methogenic bacteria. And I think she rejoined from another.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Your voice is breaking. I think you come inside. So,
Sorry, I got disconnected.
so basically, I think that's a biogas digester at the bottom and the balloon on the top. So the methogenic bacteria, they convert the wet waste to, let's see.
Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, now you're audible.
Okay, perfect. So this is my biogas digester, where we put some, wet waste here, and this gets collected in this, balloon-like structure. So it is right now over, but this red thing, it blows up till the top, and this is collecting the methane gas. And over the top, you can see the pipelines which has been made, which just connected to my kitchen. Okay, so this is what I have bought around 2 years back, and it is being working very well. There is no electricity needed, nothing needed, and you get after putting 2 kg of wet waste, you can actually generate around 30 minutes of gas daily. So yeah, a small contribution, because we could clearly see that the wet waste is one of the biggest challenge in cities, right? And I think it is one of the things which can
Correct.
be utilized easily and consumed internally in your own recipe.
Yeah.
So
Great,
I would
impressive.
just
Thanks for showing,
Yeah.
Soumya.
like
Very.
to highlight what I've been using here. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to show that.
Yeah. No, no, most welcome. I think Rakesh Jha was also
Over to you,
appreciating it.
Doctor.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Soumya. I think it was very nice, and small examples like this,
On
right?
on
So
one trivia, Ankur, on that, right? It's not related to biogas, but trivia is one person annually produces around 255 kgs of CO2 per year, one person.
hmm.
And one tree absorbs 25 kgs of CO2 every year. Now, that implies that if you plant 10 to 11 trees every year, your carbon emission will be net zero. So that's a small trivia that I would leave
Yeah.
the audience, our audience with. And that's the kind of importance planting trees will bring.
Yeah, very, very good point, Rakesh. I must say, many of my friends, even in this society, previous and in office, they go for this Vriksharopan, right? So we go to different parts and plant trees, and just extending to what you said, not just planting trees, right? You need to make sure you go there again, make sure it is growing. You see it, right?
Correct.
It's your baby. I remember when I was a child, teacher used to give a small seed, plant it, and check the growth, right, and report progress. So not only just planting it and forgetting it, I'm sure no one is doing that, but just as a reminder, right? Make sure you check on it. It's your baby, so make sure you take care of it. It's watered, nutrition is available, it's in the right area, and if you see some infestation of any worms or germs, make sure you clean it. You need to take care of it, right? And make sure it is at a stable stage where it can sustain by itself. Till then, you need to go and take care of it. So that's just I wanted to extend that. I think we had a lovely conversation, right? I mean, I truly enjoyed it. I'm sure you guys did as well, right? What do you think, Rakesh and Somaji?
Yeah.
Yep, yep, nice. I think we can end the topic discussion in this note, and with the trivia that Rakesh added. And now the topic discussion is over, and something I added in the recent times in the cultural section. That's my dad's contribution when he was alive. He used to do the cultural aspect of it. So I wanted to ask, starting with you, Rakesh Ji, if you have some cultural bone in you and you want to showcase that to my audience, I think it would be a real honor. I'm sure you're multi-skilled. I was seeing your profile and the way you spoke on various topics with such diligence. I'm sure you have a very good cultural side in you. So I would like to, if I may, give you an opportunity to showcase that to my audience.
Yeah, sure. So, apart from spirituality and traditionals and customs, those things, I also got some theater genes from my father, who
Okay.
used to be a theater artist.
Okay.
And
Nice. Because my dad is also from the National School of Drama when he was alive. He has
yeah,
worked with many of the renowned artists as well. So yeah, go ahead.
right. So in Bengali, the plays that we do, the dramas and plays and theaters that we do, called those as jatras. So
Mm-hmm.
those kind. So it's a overnight play that usually the artists do, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of theater that runs in every regions of East Bengal and prevalent areas of Bihar and Jharkhand, those areas, Odisha as well.
Mm.
So that theater gene is with me as well. I exercise that whenever I get time to do that. Especially these days, I'm not getting so much of time, but when I was in college or in school, I exercised that with my dad, and I used to go with him to watch the plays, to watch him um, uh, sort of doing those plays on stage and learning that skill from him. So that was one part of me, and that inspired me into writing as well. So I
Oh,
write things in Hindi, in English, in Bengali at times.
okay.
Um, so writing and theater, and other than that, uh, since since I am into Bengali culture, it comes up with its own musical sort of chit chat and musical tradition and culture, because it's not mandatory, but it's a custom within within a family, which is related to or associated to a Bengali tradition. Is one of the person in your family has to be involved with music, right? Whether
Mhm.
it's around playing instruments or it's around doing something around music, right? So that's my part of it beyond sustainability and other corporate things that I'm doing.
Nice.
So yeah.
Very, yeah, very nice. Bengali mein, I just know Amitoma Bolobashi and Jol Khobe, right? Few words I have learned over the years. So that's pretty much what I know.
we,
You said
we
you do
we
writing.
don't drink water, we eat water, correct?
You eat water, right? So, yeah. You said you do writing as well. So there is some small line you want to recite
Yeah,
for.
yeah, sure. Let me just grab my phone.
Yeah, yeah. Please, it'll be a real honor and very nice, because it's very nice to end the show with a cultural note, right? I think Somya just had some internet issues. She may or may not be back. Let's hear it from you.
Right, so I think this is one line that I had written while giving a, sort of my Shraddhanjali to a favorite artist of me
Mhm.
when he passed away. So it's in Hindi. जिंदगी में किरदार किरदारों में जिंदगी, because he was a cinema artist. So cinema artist is playing different roles as an actor, right? So it
Mhm.
says, जिंदगी में किरदार किरदारों में जिंदगी, कुछ इस तरह पिरोया तूने, तेरा कारवां तो चल पड़ा कहीं दूर, और हम तुम्हें किरदारों में ढूंढते रहे.
Wow.
So that's a, yeah.
Literally, I'm getting
Beautiful
a bit,
line.
So
chill and
yeah, so
goosebumps.
artist, how artist lives its entire life is, it performs different roles. Sometimes a lawyer or a sort of IS officer or police officer, or action hero or something, right? So
Yeah.
that roles are kirdar. So zindagi mein
Yes.
kirdar or kirdaron mein zindagi, so it becomes its own life, right?
Correct.
Sometimes after 20, 30, 50 years of acting, you kind of live in that imaginary zone always.
Yeah.
It becomes integral part of your life. Yeah.
Correct. Correct.
So
And किरदारों
that
में
is
हम.
one.
You have anything in Bengali, if I may ask?
Bengali, I don't have handy. Maybe I'll send you after
Yeah,
some
later.
time.
That's fine. That's fine. They were very nice, very heart touching, and with such deep thoughts.
Yeah. One is related to sort of urbanization, I would say.
Okay.
Um, Dekha, and this I had written while I was living on that rural zone, when that part
Hmm.
of year, right? That I just explained. So I had written that देखा है गांव को शहरों में तब्दील होते हुए, because now villages are also being
Correct.
impacted with the
Yes.
development, and
Yeah.
especially they are now shifting from kacha houses of those
Hmm.
from kacha houses to pakka houses. They are using a lot of concrete and cement and those kind of things, which has its own sort of impact, because it reflects heat, right? It absorbs heat, and then it is increasing the temperature during the summer, right? So देखा है गांव को शहरों में तब्दील होते हुए, सौंधी खुशबू वाली खुशहाले रूह को सीमेंट रेत की चादरें बोझिल ओढ़ते हुए, सौंधी खुशबू वाली खुशहाले रूह को. So the whole soul of our village is सौंधी खुशबू वाली खुशहाले रूह को सीमेंट रेत की चादरें बोझिल ओढ़ते हुए, जटायु मुद्दतों बाद मिट्टी के घरौंदों में ही मिला सुकून, जटायु मुद्दतों बाद मिट्टी के घरौंदे में ही मिला सुकून, देखा तपते धूप में अमीरों के ताबूत जलते हुए. So when you come here in cities in summer, it's a concrete jungle. If you go to Kharadi, right, it's a concrete jungle, right? And if you go there, you will feel the temperature. If you go on a kacha house, which is built out of natural resources, wood and those soil and blah blah thing, you won't feel that much of temperature inside the house, right? So that's
Yeah.
the kind of difference.
Yep. Yep. And we can feel it, right? Especially in the roads which have a lot of trees planted, you can feel the temperature difference, and not just the temperature difference. Your entire mentality and the vibe changes to very positive energy is also what I've noticed. You feel good, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that was very nice. Really heart touching. I know. I'm sensing that Soma, you have something to add to the cultural bit as well. If I may have the privilege of asking you, if you do, maybe singing a song or anything you want to add, I think this is very nice. If you can just sing maybe few lines or recite a poem, up to you, right? Whichever cultural bone you have in yourself. I know it's a different topic show with Rakesh ja, but if as you have joined, I would like to request Soumya as well, if that's fine with you, Rakesh.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I can sing a song. I'm not a great singer, so but yes, I can try.
Yeah, you're better than me, so go for it.
देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए. देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए, दूर तक निगाह में है गुल खिले हुए. I would just sing this much. But the song
No,
is
that was,
very beautiful. I need to know the lyrics and all.
yeah.
Thank you.
No, and singing it impromptu and just going without any fear. I mean, that itself says a lot about you as a personality, right? So these are different aspects, right? We're going live. We are talking about things. We don't know what's going to happen next, but still we take that chance. That shows the inner confidence and the strength, willpower that we have within ourselves, right? We are not scared of the different storms that's going to come in life. We'll take it as a challenge and we can fight it off and also help other people's along the same line. And that's a very different and positive and strong character, and pretty much everybody I have spoken with, and that's pretty amazing, I would say. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think your
Correct. Yeah.
your contribution towards bringing people on this platform and having these discussion is actually amazing. The things that I today learned from Rakesh ji is amazing, and the best part is we can connect. We all can see that how we see around are impacting us as humans and as living beings, I would say. So let's join hands together and do something that we would be
Yeah,
proud of, and our children should be happy about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
absolutely. For
Absolutely.
So
the next,
great to
Yeah, this particular talk show is very much beneficial for the audience as well as for us. Um, as you said, Soumya, that it builds our network in such a way that we like-minded people can join hands together to do something which will be for the greater good. And then I was very much excited when I saw your biogas plant, right? Biogas thing. That was very inspiring,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
So
that's nice.
thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. Please, Rakesha, I think you are in Pune, so let's connect offline. I'll give you a buzz. I can
Sure.
probably come to your place. You can come to mine, or we can meet at a common place. It will be a really nice get together. I can see on this platform. And I said this on the previous talk show as well, right? Even if we impact one person, that's good enough, because that's what builds our network with like-minded people, and that's pretty much what the intent of collaborate to elaborate is, right? It is not for getting viral, it is
Yeah.
getting more visible with relevance, so that you can build your professional as well as personal credibility to your own individual brand, right? That's what pretty much we are trying to focus. And with that note, I would like to end the show. I know I would like to talk forever, but I have another talk show starting in 4 minutes. So I would have to end this show now. Unless you have anything more to add that can last for 2-3 minutes, I'm okay to extend. But if not, I can end the show.
Thank
No,
you
I
very
think
much.
we are pretty much done. Maybe we can talk other topics sometime in other talk shows
Okay.
episodes.
All right. Thank you, Rakesh ji, for
Thank
joining and
you.
for being honored guest, and thank you, Soumya, for joining on really short notice. I know I gave you like just a few minutes to decide. So thank you so much, and thank you all who have joined live and who gonna see this later on the platform recorded. It will be available. Just one thing I would like to add is, for some reason, the streaming platform, they gave me 1 week free of their multi-stream version. That's why you don't see their logo in the free version, and also a high definition one. I think they just saw I'm doing a lot of talk shows, so they wanted to give me a free trial for a week. So thanks for the streaming platform for giving me that opportunity. It was really nice of them. Thank you. I'll just click on end stream.
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy
Bye bye.
Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Yes. Happy Sunday. Bye bye.
Happy
See ya.
Sunday. Bye bye.